Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. How are y'all doing today? It's warm. It is a warm day. Man, we went from the skies opening up, Noah get your ark, load them 2x2, rain, to heat advisory. Because Mississippi, that's why. But we needed the rain. We needed the rain. And actually, it was nice because it gave us a little bit of a break. We had worked really hard on the fencing on Saturday. And clearing all the brush and getting all that ready to expand the goat pen and to then get ready for the sheep. And it was a lot of work, and it was really hot that day. And we were working. It was raining off and on too, but it was never a real heavy rain, except for briefly. I think it rained real hard for about 2 minutes at one point. But it was so humid and so hot and muggy that it would, like, everything would dry up like super fast. And a lot of people on that video came out on 3 Mississippi on Tuesday were saying, why don't you guys get an auger? Buy an auger for Kenny. Buy an auger. Don't do it by hand. Buy an auger. If you guys may remember, we don't have an auger, but our neighbor has an auger that he lets us borrow. And we used that when we were doing the chicken coop holes, and when we did all of this fencing for Beulah and around the garden. And so we have used that auger a lot. In fact, I think Mike actually used it too when we did the fruit trees, both at our place here, because there's I don't know, there was like a dozen or 15 holes that he had to do for those trees. And then we took Kenny over with the auger attachment over to Ryan's and did his fruit trees that one day, and we did a video on that. So we have access to it, but here's the thing. Number one, attachments for tractors are expensive, so we don't just go buy every attachment that we want. We're still paying off Kenny, and so we have the attachments that we need that are useful for what we need the tractor to be able to do, right? So, we don't want to have to go buy other ones when our neighbor literally down the way has one that he basically lets us use whenever we need it. That being said, it's also a pain in the butt to change that auger and to put it on and take it off. It usually takes 2 to 3 grown men wrestling with it to get it done. It's a real old auger, and it's just real hard to line it up. It's a fight every time. Well, Mike's whole thing was, once the garden was done and he didn't need the row builder on the back anymore, he was just going to leave the bush hog on until it was time to basically do the garden again, and needed the grader again. Because once we finished the driveway grading and he finished the rows in the garden, he was like, I'm not changing that bush hog off until I have to sometime in the fall or in the winter for something. So we were only doing 3 post holes. That's all we needed to add to the fencing that was already there. So to go down the way with the tractor, get the auger, and come back, that probably would have added about 2 hours to our evolution that day to do 3 holes. It didn't take them that long to do the 3 holes by hand. Was it a pain in the butt? Yes. The ground was hard? Yes. But it was only 3 post holes, so it wasn't, it was, sometimes it's easier to do something manually than to go get the machine and try to, if we were doing, 100 feet of fence that needed, big posts on, each thing or something, and we were having to drill, 16 post holes or something. I don't know. I just made up numbers. But like, we would have gone and gotten the auger. It would have been a thing. But with just doing the 3, it was just easier to just do it by hand and get it done that day. So it's so hot, guys. I think the back of my hair is completely soaked. I showered and then I came outside to do some work and a little bit of filming. And I was like, I'm already soaking wet, and I just showered. It's not so bad in the shade, but I was moving around and moving gear and doing stuff, and you know how it is. So I got hot. But that being said, we did get rained out the next day on Sunday. So we did all that fence work on Saturday, sands and auger. And we, on Sunday after church, the plan was to come home and do that. Well, none of us knew that there was rain in the forecast because I think it was like a late addition to the forecast. We thought that that storm system had moved and we were golden. We were, in fact, not golden. And it rained buckets. It rained a lot, and it rained hard, and it was thunder, and it was lightning, and it was, the full light show outside, which was great. It was beautiful. We needed the rain. So not complaining at all. It just set our plans back a bit, which was unfortunate, but these things happen. And, when you're working outside, weather's always a factor. If it's super, super hot, you got to take a lot of breaks because you got to go get more water. You got to, get out of the sun for a minute. There's lots of factors. If it's real, real cold out, you got to make sure you're wearing a lot of layers, and then you get hot, so you start taking them off, and then you get cold again, and you know how it is. So, that being said, we did not get the T-post set. We did not get the lines stretched like we had wanted to, and we weren't able to open up that pen to get the goats moved to the other side like we wanted. But that's okay. I think this weekend we'll be able to finish that. You guys know during the week, a lot of times we're not able to work on projects. Sometimes we can in the evenings for a little while, an hour or two when Mike gets off of work, but Mike has a full-time day job. So he can't just, work all day out here building and doing. So it really limits our time. And then on top of that, when the weather's bad, that limits our time and what we're able to do. So it makes getting some projects done tricky. And so, we are not, while I may be considered a full-time YouTuber, Mike is not. He still works full-time. So, while the YouTube is my full-time job, and that combined with, being a homemaker and raising our daughter and running her where she needs to go and taking care of, my stuff on the farm here, the animal stuff, that's my job. Just like his job is the garden and more so filming when I need him to. And sometimes, he'll do a video on his own or whatever when time allows. But for the most part, it's, that's something that I take care of. But it means that we can't get projects done randomly. Hey, don't even think about it, Bunk. He's eyeing my tripod. Hey, sir, Bunko, that is not a toy. Sir, come here. What are you doing? He's over here batting at my tripod. Ugh, little goofball. You're such a silly boy. Anyway, it's one of those things where we just can't get that stuff done during the week, during the day. And so if he gets off work early enough and he doesn't have a meeting at church or something, he's able to maybe come out and we can work on something. But it makes it tricky. Just like you guys know when you join us for our lives on Wednesday nights, a lot of times he is a no-show or he gets there really late because he's still working and he can't, get out of there on time. So it makes it, makes it a little bit tricky. I don't know what I walked through, but all of it stuck to me, some kind of plant. And I think I got my first, I don't know, it's either a spider bite or a chigger little area here on my ankle. And I don't know which yet because it's new. But it's definitely not a mosquito bite, and it's something, and I don't think it was an ant bite, but I don't know what it was. Every time I'm like, oh, I've unlocked a new level of bug. Something else got me. But anywho, I think Frankie's out there mowing now. He had told her band camp got canceled the rest of the week. They were supposed to have it through tomorrow, I believe, and this whole week, and they only had it on Monday, so which was nice because she got a little bit of a break. And the last day they had band camp was a 12-hour day, and they were working outside in the sun for most of it. She came home as red as a lobster. Poor baby. And she's like, there was no amount of sunscreen, there was no amount of shade, there was no nothing, they were just, but luckily she's got enough of mom in her that she just kind of tanned up right away and didn't peel or anything, so that's good. But that being said, you know, she's had a little bit of downtime because they go back to school like next week. So she's, or I guess the week after, technically the beginning of the next week. So she's only got a few more days left of summer break. So tomorrow she and I are going to go with our friends to go see Twisters finally. So we'll get a little reprieve from the heat as we sit in the air conditioned theater. But I haven't been to a movie in like, I think 3 years. So it would be nice to go. I'm excited about that. And the movie's supposedly very entertaining. So I'm excited to be entertained and just let my brain shut off for a little while. It doesn't have a crazy, like, hard to follow plot. It doesn't have, you know, I'm here for it. So I think it'll be fun. And then I got a video I'm working on right now that I gotta turn around for Friday on 3 Mississippi. So and somewhere in there I need to scrub toilets and do that fun stuff again. So gotta try to work that in as well. At some point, do my big clean that I like to do once a week. So got to get after that too. Maybe one of these evenings I'll be able to work on that. Maybe I'll end up doing it Thursday evening. We'll see. Maybe, which would be tonight as you guys are seeing this. So so we'll see. But anyway, guys, that's about all the update I have for you today. I hope all is well. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're staying cool in this heat. If you are having heat like we are having, drink lots of water. And as always, guys, stay blessed. And remember, safety's off.